Hey everyone, Spirited Drop from the back of a taxi. I am back in Singapore and back at work, and so I'm delighted to be sharing with you some of the questions and some of the experiences I have as a spiritual practitioner. So I've received a couple of questions recently from different people around what to do with your favorite crystals when you feel that they're no longer part of your life, or they no longer are fitting with your workings, or you want to move them on. And there seems to be a lot of rearranging of sacred spaces and altars going on, which is totally in season. I'm doing the same. So we're gearing up for the shift in the astrological years, for the shift both Western a little bit later in March, and the Chinese zodiac in the Lunar New Year coming up in a few weeks. And the Earth is turning into the first quarter turn, which the Sabbath is called Emolk. So this is the very early, very subtle shift in energies in the Earth, and still Emolk means in the belly, so still unseen but definitely felt. And with all of these shifts, it's very natural, and I see it every year, that there's an impulse to clear out the old and make space for the new in our homes, on our altars, and so on. Okay, so if you're feeling that impulse, I would definitely act on it, because it feels better than not acting on it. This is extending to my clothes, to everything in my place at the moment, and some relationships as well. Anyway, so crystals. Okay, so what I do with my crystals, so if they're crystals that have been specifically bought for a magical operation, and they have a connection with an energy force, or an archetype or a deity that I'm working with, I generally tend to keep them. So because I also invest a bit in my mineral friends, but what I do is I cleanse them. So I cleanse them really thoroughly with sacred smoke, sage or Palo Santo, and I also put them out over a full lunar cycle. Now, obviously you need to double check if your crystal is okay with water. I like to put them out under a full moon and keep them outside in my garden until the next full moon, so they're exposed to everything: sunlight, moonlight, rain, storms, wind, and that gives them what I feel a really good cleansing. And then I put them away in my magical cupboard until I want to pull them out again. So that's for the bigger, more valuable pieces that have a direct connection with a particular power source that I'm working with. For the smaller ones, there's a number of different things that I do. So I absolutely, if I'm putting them back into distribution, I cleanse them all. So, crystals are known for being programmable by the imprint of your psychic energy, or if you're using them in ritual or in any of your magical practice. So you don't want to be sending crystals out in the world that still have some kind of an energetic connection to you. But there's a number of different things I do. I gift a lot of them. So I keep them all in little pouches, the really beautiful ones, and then when Spirit moves me with a client or with a friend, I will gift them, and I love that, and I love being gifted crystals. So I really like that idea of these beautiful magical cousins of ours from the earth circulating within my community and within my friendships. That's one thing you can do. Another thing that I do is I have a number of very special trees that I connect with, that I meditate under, that I go to for a bit of solace and a bit of guidance. And if I've got crystals that I'm returning to the earth, I will do that as an offering of gratitude to the trees, and I will leave it around the roots, push them in, or even sometimes if there's like a divot in a bough, and I'll put a little crystal there as an offering of gratitude to the earth spirits, to the trees. sometimes you will have a crystal that's really worked hard for you, that's done really heavy lifting for you. And what I tend to do with these is I will cleanse them and then I will cast them into a body of natural water. So I will go down to the beach, or I'll go to, as much as we can here in Singapore, like a wild reservoir, and I will cast the crystal with gratitude into a body of water, which keeps it contained, keeps it safe, still returns it to the earth, and then allows the nature spirits to determine what they're going to do with it. So they're just a couple of ideas of what I do with my crystals. And then for other talisman that I've worked with, either if I've created them or if they have been, I've solicited them from another magical practitioner, but the working is finished, again I will cleanse them, and but I don't tend to pass them on. I tend to hold on to them, you know, if it's a special piece of bone or a runic talisman or something like that. So you can imagine my storage space at home after many years of magical practice. But that's what I would that's what I would suggest for your crystals and moving them on. And then of course you're making space, so you're working with the sort of, you know, the clan spirit of crystals, if you like, and you can often expect a beautiful new piece to come into your orbit when you do that. So I hope that's useful. So happy to be back with the Spirited Drops. I've got a fantastic story from yesterday with a spirit contact, but I'll do that another time. Okay everyone, bye.